Hello, good morning, everyone. So, we are here today again to talk about finance, like we did in the last video. So, in this video, I'm going to give you some tips that will help you to increase your credit score and will help you to utilize your credit card wisely. Okay, so first of all, I want to say that I changed my camera angle. I changed it because I'm just trying out new angles at which the video is gonna look the best. And I feel like this is a pretty good angle. But it's okay, we're always open to exploring options, like we will when we use a credit card. But never mind. So, first of all, before I'm gonna give you the tips to get a credit card, the concept that I wanna ingrain in your head is that do not think of credit card and the credit limit as free money. So this is a mistake that so many people make, because when they get their first credit card, they think it's free money. So if the limit is 1000, they're like, oh, I have 1000, but I don't even have it in my bank account. So 1000 is free money that I can spend anytime I want, anywhere I want. Wow. No, the bank is loaning you this money. Think of it as a credit, a loan that the bank is giving you. And if you do not pay this, they're gonna charge you a so heavy interest that you're gonna be paying off your whole life. So the interest rate, as everyone might know, is that on credit cards it's 23 to 25% in Canada, and that is a lot. So not only will your inability to not pay your credit card on time affect your credit score, it will also affect your bank account, because the interest is gonna boost up, and then you're gonna have to pay the original balance plus a huge interest. So please do not think of it as free money. Think of it as a loan that you're getting from the bank to use your money, and then you can use it more wisely, right? So now let's move on to tip number 1, which is do not max out your credit card. So ideally, I know there are a lot of people who believe that the ideal usage is 30 to 40% of your credit card, which is in some sense true. The concept is that if you max out your credit card, if you use 1000 a month, you see it as a target that you have to achieve, and then you max it out every month, the bank is gonna think, the credit bureau is gonna think that you don't have enough money. You keep using your credit to pay off for things that you need, which means you don't have enough money, which means you will get a poor credit score, which means they will think that you don't have enough, right? So just try to use it as lesser as possible. So ideally it should be lesser than 50%. So if my credit limit is 1000, my ideal usage should be lesser than 500. So I'm not saying that do not use your credit card at all. Obviously you can use it, it's there for a reason, right? But try to keep it within the 50% bracket. So personally, I only use up to, like, so my credit limit is right now 1000, but I honestly just use like 100. So my utilization rate is only 10%. And trust me, when I landed here, it was like 50%, and then it was 40, and then it was 50, and then 60. But then as I started to drop my utilization rate, along with the other tips that I'm gonna say today that I followed, my credit score has improved. So I feel like this is something that is actually effective. So try using your credit card. The limit the usage by 10 to 50%, and you would be thankful. The second tip is that do not close your old credit cards. So I know this is not very effective if you're new to Canada and you're like, oh, like getting one credit card is like a dream come true. How do you think I'm gonna get 3 credit cards? But this is for everyone who has been in Canada for a while, and I'm sure some of you might have been enticed by a few offers that we have around here, and they might have gotten more than one credit card. Like for example, me right now, I have 3 credit cards. So the tip that I have is that do not close out your old credit cards. So if you have 3 and you think, I'm not really using them, I'm just using one of them, and I want to close out the other credit cards and then just use this one for easiness, well, yeah, that's great. But if you close out your old credit cards, that means you're closing out on your old credit history, right? So just keep them. Even if you don't use them like once a month. Like for me, what I do is that I have one Coho credit card that I use like just for regular expenses, like for entertainment and stuff like that. I have one more, which is the CIPC's credit card that I do not use at all. So what I've done is that I've linked my phone bill to that credit card, so that every month that goes out of that. I have a TD credit card with me that I use for anything else that I want to do, like for my general expenses again. So if you don't want, because the thing is that if you close out on your old credit cards, it's gonna look, I mean, it might look good thinking with the point of view that, oh, you have lesser credit on you. But then if you think in this point of view that the credit bureau thinks that you have three credit cards, each where you have not maxed out your limits and you know, kept within the limit, paid off on time, they're gonna think, oh, you have good credit because numerous banks are approving your credit card and your limits. So they're gonna think that, okay, this person has got some money, right? This person has good credit, which also reflects in a way in your credit score. So do not close out your old credit cards. Third thing I have is shop around. So when we get a credit card, normally the mistake we make is that the bank in which we open an account. So, for example, when I came from India to Canada, I opened a bank account with CIBC. So, I got my credit card only with CIBC. I did not shop around other banks looking at the offers that they had, which was a mistake that I made. So, I just recommend to not make this mistake. Even if you don't have a account in any other bank, you can still get a credit card with them, right? So, just go to different banks. First of all, prioritize your needs. So like just think, what is the most important to me? Is getting cashback more important for me, getting travel points more important for me, or using it to, you know, go for entertainment sources like Cineplex, or garnering points towards movies is more important to me? And then whatever you think, try to get credit cards in that lane, and then shop around different banks and try to find which bank gives you the most offers, the most benefits at the lowest rate, right? So shop around always. So it's like, it's kind of like getting this is a very weird example, but it's kind of like buying furniture, right? Like it's like, I think India's Zindagi, Shah Rukh Khan side. He was like, if you wanna get a chair, you're not gonna go for one chair and you're gonna sit on it and you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this. You try around different chairs, and the one you feel the most comfortable in, that's where you know, like to sit, and that's the chair that you will buy for the rest of your life. Same goes with credit cards. So try to shop around, and the credit card you think is the most comfortable for you, use that the most. Fourth tip that I have is pay off your credit card on time. Oh my god, this is me emphasizing on this so much, because paying off your credit card on time is so important. Paying it off before the payment date or the statement, sorry, paying it off before the payment date or the due date is so important, because if you don't, you will be accumulating high interest on that, and you're gonna be so regretful about using the credit card ever, that now you have to pay so much interest that your mental health financially is gonna sink. So try to pay off your credit card you know, before the due date. One practice that you can actually adopt is that if you're bad with paying off your credit card on time, as soon as you make a purchase with your credit card, try to pay it off the same day. So when I started, I had this habit because I used to forget my you know, due dates, the payment dates, and then just before it was due, I used to remember, oh, I think it's my payment date, and then I used to pay it. So then I what then what I started to do was that I actually, you know, paid it off every time I used it. So now, if I'm busy, what I do is that every week I just gather all my bank accounts, all my credit cards, everything, and then I just take a quick glance over it, and then I pay it off, like whatever the balance is every week. So you can go for either of these. Fifth and the last tip, which is a gem of a tip that I have really not heard a lot of people talk about, is that keep your credit card balance low on your statement date. So when you're using a credit card, there are two dates that are very important. One is the payment or the due date where you have to pay the balance off, and the second is the statement date when you get the credit card statement for the whole month, right? So normally, I read this somewhere that what happens is that when you get the statement date, what happens is the credit bureau, the agency that is handling your credit scores, that's the day they almost always assess your credit score. So when they are doing that, they take a look at the credit history that you have, and then if they look at a lot of transactions that have happened before the statement date, because that's when they're receiving the documents, right? They're gonna think, oh, you're using it a lot. So before the statement date, for example, if my statement date is 5 March, I try to keep the balance low from 1st March. So from 1st to 5 March, my balance is neat. It's almost zero or like $10 or something like that. I do not, try to use it a lot before my statement date. So you can try using all these tips, and I'm sure it's gonna work for you. At least it will work a little bit for you. So let's go over all the tips once again. So the first tip was, do not max out your credit card, pay the credit cards on time, keep your balance low on your statement dates, do not close out old credit cards, shop around. Okay, so thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope to see you in my next video. Stay tuned.